Hello everyone! Today we will explore a world where Germany never united. But it won't be me giving you the scenario. My friend Videntis, a fellow alternate history YouTuber, wrote, narrated and made this video. And I really hope that you all enjoy it. Without further ado, let's dive into the video.
We begin in Western Germany. On October 1813, as fighting raged on in the midst of the Napoleonic War's Sixth Coalition. From October 30th to the 31st, the Battle of Hanau was fought between Bavarian Field Marshal Karl Philipp von Wriede's 43,000 Austro-Bavarian corps and Napoleon's retreating Imperial French army of 30,000 men. This battle comes just after Napoleon's crucial defeat at the Battle of Leipzig, which was fought from the 16th and 19th of October, not even 2 weeks prior. This meant the battle was a rare opportunity to deal a fatal blow to Napoleon. In our world, Napoleon managed to defeat the Bavarians and retreat into France with just enough men and resources to prepare a defense of France. However, here things change. And by October 31st, Karl Philipp von Wriede achieved a resounding victory against Napoleon, managing to capture Napoleon in the aftermath. The battle had two profound implications that reshaped the course of Europe forever. Firstly, this victory established Bavaria as a military power capable of defeating Napoleon. Von Wriede solidified his reputation as a legendary commander who successfully defeated the once seemingly invincible Frenchmen. This achievement not only brought prestige to Bavaria, but also garnered respect and admiration from the other German states, elevating their position in the broader geopolitical context within the German question, the query of whether Prussia or Austria would rule a future Germany, which had just become even more complicated. The aftermath of the battle reverberated in the political arena, tipping the scale in Bavaria's favor. The Congress of Vienna in 1814 played a pivotal role in redistributing territories and shaping the post-war order. Here, Bavaria's success on the battlefield translated into territorial gains during the negotiations. As a result, Bavaria acquired several key regions including Rhineland-Westphalia up to the Ruhr River. Additionally, they took Baden, which had only recently been established as a separate entity by Napoleon in 1806. Meanwhile, Prussia was allocated the northern portion of the Rhineland and additional pre-Napoleonic Polish lands. This greatly strengthened Bavaria, expanding the kingdom into territories once far beyond its reach, and left the Prussians weakened. These developments set the stage for the formation of the German Confederation in 1815, consisting of the three influential powers, Prussia, Austria, and Bavaria, as well as the other minor German entities. Despite its newfound prominence, Bavaria still maintained a position closer to Austria than Prussia, and it assumed the role of the protector of the smaller states against the ambitions of its larger neighbors. Napoleon's defeat at Hanau had far-reaching consequences for France. Napoleon did not return from exile on Elba, as the battle left him in disgrace, without popular support, erasing the 100 Days in the Battle of Waterloo. The absence of these events left France with its older borders intact and eliminated the need for the Seventh Coalition. Moreover, this led to the avoidance of the Austro-Neapolitan War. Joachim Murat, the King of Naples, adhered to his alliance with Austria. Ferdinand III remained the King of Sicily with British support preventing the emergence of a Kingdom of Two Sicilies. The absence for an Austrian victory in Italy dampened the fervor for Italian unification, instead fostering the creation of a liberal Neapolitan kingdom as Murat was desperate to hold on to power. Napoleon still passed away on May 5, 1821, at the age of 51. Here Napoleon II survived, as he never contracted pneumonia while fighting to suppress Italian nationalists. As the son of Marie Louise of Austria, the Duchess of Parma and Lucca, Napoleon II was both French and a Habsburg, and was raised in Austria. He was a military and political genius, just like his father. His promising career would not go unnoticed throughout Europe as he grew. In 1828, the prevailing sentiment against the Bourbons culminated in another French revolt, driven by the people's yearning for another Napoleonic grandeur. It began with something akin to the Four Sergeants of La Rochelle, and led to the restoration of the Republic, with Napoleon II serving as the president. Napoleon II escaped Austria to take control, and many in Europe were wary of a Bonapartist France. Napoleon II pursued policies different than the policies of Napoleon III, opting against a unified Italy. He wanted to assert his claim as the King of Rome, the title his father gave him as a baby. Napoleon II was the Duke of Parma and Lucca through his mother, so Italian unification had no benefit. Instead, he looked to integrate those duchies with France. Britain was the most vocal against the return of a Bonaparte, but they were unsuccessful in forming a coalition, and their forces were preoccupied with Indian and African colonization. Napoleon II's capabilities surpassed those of Napoleon III, leading to a resurgent France. His reign saw the annexation of Belgium in 1830, as the Catholic Flemings and Walloons saw him as a perfect man to lead them. Britain was outraged, but they could not drum up support as the Austrians began to see him as a future ally. On May 30th, 1832, the Marienburg Fest took place in Hanover, a demonstration for civil liberties and national unity, but it ended with no result for German unification. In 1834, Napoleon II led a popular coup against the Republic and proclaimed the Second French Empire, worrying the continent. His main adversaries included Britain, Prussia, Sardinia, and Naples. His uncle, Joachim Murat, who had previously betrayed Napoleon, was especially hated by Napoleon II. The Austrians and Bavarians, however, were pleased with this and found common ground with the new emperor. The revolutionary movement spared France from upheaval, as the populace was loyal to Napoleon II. Meanwhile, German states, Austria, Hungary, Denmark, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and Poland experienced revolutions. The widespread revolutions led to a Franco-Austrian alliance. Clemens von Metternich, the foreign minister of Austria, who had arranged Napoleon's marriage to Archduchess Marie-Louise, formalized the alliance with France, Bavaria, and Hanover. Napoleon II's motivation for siding with Austria were deeply rooted in his Austrian heritage. Napoleon II sought to reclaim regions his father had previously conquered from Sardinia to Piedmont, and connect his duchies to France. The major powers were weary of the revolts and eager to crush them, and to retain the status quo. The Italian War of Independence unfolded in 1848, with Sardinia and Naples pitted against Austria, Bavaria, and France. Sardinia aimed to keep France out of the conflict, hoping for a swift war against Austria that would facilitate their annexation of the rest of Italy. Italian volunteers from the Papal States supported Sardinia, and the Roman Republic was declared, forcing the previously liberal-minded Pope Pius IX to flee to Napoleon II. Despite this, the Italian efforts ended in a humiliating defeat at the hands of Napoleon II, leading to the division of Italy between France and Austria. France emerged as a primary victor, annexing territories up to the Orca River, including Genoa, and Parma was integrated into France. Austria's reach now extended to the Cessus River, with their former Habsburg Italian dukes Leopold II and Francis V reinstated to power in Tuscany and Modena. Napoleon II strategically distributed territories, granting most of Lucca to Tuscany. His decision was driven by the challenges of governing Italy and the desire to maintain a balanced presence to appease the Pope. Crucially, Lombardy, the wealthiest province within the empire, remained under Austria, greatly increasing their stability and prestige. The French aid in Italy allowed the Austrian army to crush the Hungarian revolt without need of Russian aid. Piedmont was reduced to a French puppet, and subsequently Sardinia was sold to France, mirroring the annexation of Corsica in 1769. This maneuver bolstered France's influence in the western Mediterranean. The Roman Republic was crushed, and Pope Pius IX's reinstatement fostered closer ties between Napoleon II and the papacy. The Pope declared Napoleon II the defender of Rome and the Church, conferring upon him the Supreme Order of Christ, the highest papal order of knighthood. In return, Napoleon II pledged to prevent papal states from falling victim to Italian unification. In Naples, the Murat dynasty was replaced with Bonaparte's, with Louis Napoleon III in our timeline, taking the throne. By the year's end, the revolts had all been pushed down and the system was upheld, albeit with some minor concessions by minor monarchs. The Crimean War largely unfolded similarly to real life. However, Napoleon II sought to position himself as a defender of Christianity among the Turks. Recognizing the danger posed by a potentially dominant Russia, Britain and France propped up the Ottoman Empire to counter Russian advances, thereby initiating a gradual reconciliation between the two European powers. Eager for further conquests, Napoleon II called on Bavaria to send troops. This move not only aligned them closer to France, but also raised Bavaria's international standing, and laid the groundwork for a distinct Bavarian faction, similar to what Sardinia did during the actual conflict. The war played out the same, with Austria remaining neutral and the Russians humiliated. Following the war, Britain finally returned Napoleon's body to France, symbolizing a shift in their relations. The Second Schleswig War played out the same, with Prussia and Austria emerging victorious over Denmark. Schleswig went to Austria while Holstein and Saxe-Lauenburg were annexed by Prussia. This victory was a prelude to the Austro-Prussian War, as Bismarck and Prussia provoked Austria. Prussia offered France their natural border up to the Rhine if they engaged Bavaria in open conflict, sparking suspicion in Napoleon II's mind over the trustworthiness of the Prussians. Austria called the German Confederation to mediate amidst rising tensions, but war broke out in 1866. Bavaria, Hanover, and the smaller states sided with Austria. While Austria was stronger here and Prussia was weaker, this balanced the two out. The war progressed perfectly for France, with no major gains on either side. After 2 years of fighting, Bavaria promised Napoleon II land in exchange for aiding their cause, a fulfillment of Napoleon III's aspirations in reality. The territories promised included Luxembourg and Aachen. France entered the war in 1868, directing its forces into Germany, and unlike Napoleon's Iberian campaign, he did not betray his allies. This culminated in Austria's victory by the end of 1869. The Treaty of Dresden was marked by a deep-seated aversion towards Bismarck and an inherent skepticism about maintaining Prussia as a future ally. Austria regained Silesia up to the Vorda River. Austria refrained from acquiring lands in northern Germany, recognizing the difficulties of controlling extensive, diverse territories. Bavaria expanded to the Ems River, while Hanover took the northern part of Prussian Rhineland. The Principality of Hohenzollern was split by the Danube, with the southern part falling under Bavarian control and the northern portion under Württemberg's jurisdiction. Bavaria was true to the word and handed over the promised lands to France. Austria oversaw the emergence of new duchies strategically used to either weaken or annex Prussian allies. Brandenburg, Pomerania, and other duchies were created. The consolidation of Prussian allies followed a similar pattern to what occurred with Austrian allies in our historical timeline. Many Prussian allies were fragmented or annexed by Austrian allies like Saxony, Hanover, and Hesse. Being split from Brandenburg and Berlin, Königsberg was once more the Prussian capital. Austria formed a new German confederation, excluding Prussia. This marked a significant shift in Prussian self-perception, mirroring Austria's experience in reality. They now saw themselves as Prussians, marked by their unique cultural identity and different Baltic accents. Germany became less fragmented by the treaty and confederation, and Bavaria emerged as a global power with a more significant role on the international stage. While Austria's dominance was proven, it was apparent that Austria alone lacked the strength to fully control the new German confederation. The emergence of multiple middle-tier German powers made it challenging for any single entity to exert total command. The Austro-Hungarian Compromise of 1867 did not occur as Austria was far stronger, so they maintained dominance over the empire without a formal agreement with Hungary. During the 1870s, a succession crisis emerged in Spain, leading to the establishment of a republic. However, this does not spark a major European conflict, as Alfonso XIII ultimately still became king in 1886. The Franco-Prussian War, which was pivotal for the establishment of the German Empire, did not take place as the Spanish crown was never offered to the Prussians. The German Confederation maintained an alliance with France, and as time went on, France drew closer to the Germans and further from the British. The Russo-Turkish War still unfolded, resulting in a Russian victory and an eventual independence of several Balkan states, including Serbia, Montenegro, Romania, and Bulgaria. Bavaria gave minor support to the Greeks as a Slavic foil, leading to nominal gains. In the 1880s, the Berlin Conference, which regulated European colonization and trade in Africa, did not take place. A similar conference still occurred, with the division of colonizations as more fragmented, mirroring the European political landscape. Most European powers, including the middling powers of Bavaria, Hanover, Tuscany, and Naples, all pursued colonial endeavors. The Neapolitans established colonies in North Africa, and a version of the Congo Free State was funded by the Prussians under the funding of Prince Wilhelm II. He shrewdly claimed the territory in the Upper Congo Basin, extracting valuable mineral resources that enriched Prussia and contributed to the development of their military capabilities, as they were still bitter and eager for revenge. As the 1890s unfurled, the weakening Ottomans led to the turbulent Balkans, caught in the midst of shifting alliances and rivalries. Bavaria convinced Austria, Hanover, and France to throw their full support behind a resurgent Greece, pitted against their Slavic and Russian-backed neighbors. African colonization increased tension among the great powers, casting Europe to the precipice of war. Two distinct factions emerged. On one side stood the resolute allies, among them Britain, with strategic ambitions to erode France's African influence and restore balance away from the Franco-Germanic hierarchy. Prussia, yearning to reclaim its place on the global stage and avenge their humiliation. Serbia, eager to expand into Austria and free their Slavic brothers. Russia, fueled by a fiery resentment towards Austria's Balkan ambitions, propelling their dream of a pan-Slavic empire. On the other side stood the coalition, consisting of France, hungering to establish its complete dominion across Africa and Asia, while keeping British influence at bay. Austria, a guardian of the balance, determined to curtail Russia's influence in the Balkans and ensure continental stability. Bavaria, Hanover, Saxony, and the rest of the German Confederation, united in their pursuit of a stable yet malleable Europe, with the potential to expand their colonies abroad. Greece, fueled by their expansionist dreams of reclaiming the Byzantine title, casting its sights on Anatolia to challenge the fading Ottoman Empire. And lastly, Naples, eager to secure its own place alongside their Bonapartist brothers in this intricate dance of power. The stage is set for a clash of great powers, igniting a storm that would test the limits of Europe's precarious equilibrium. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel, Videntis, and go watch part 2. Join me as we delve deeper into this world of shifting alliances, brewing conflicts, and an alternate history that promises to rewrite the annals of time. I hope to see you there.